Next up, Cincinnati Bengals. The Cincinnati Bengals. Are we really talking about the Cincinnati Bengals, about them being contenders or pretenders? Answer to that question is yes. The answer to that question is yes, because the Cincinnati Bengals are 3-5 on the season. The Cincinnati Bengals do have a showdown versus the Las Vegas Raiders at home this weekend. And they are currently sitting third spot in the tough AFC North. Many people deem the AFC North the best division in football, but slow it down, baby. So when we look at the Cincinnati Bengals, wise, sitting at 3-5 on the season, going to probably beat the Las Vegas Raiders, making them 4-5 on this season. Are they going to be contenders or pretenders? Are they contenders or pretenders in Cincinnati? Is the Orange and Black contenders or pretenders? The Bengals started out the season 0-3. That's right, 3 straight losses. Now, they did play well against the Kansas City Chiefs, but the other 2 games, they got pretty much shit-showed. They lost to the Patriots on opening night. What? Then they lost to the Chiefs. Bengals always play the Chiefs well. I don't know what it is. I don't know what is in the water, but they always compete well. It was a very competitive game. They lost 25-20, I believe it was. And then they lost to the Commanders. On hindsight now, that was a good loss. The Commanders are a really, really good team, but at the time, we're like, the Commanders, the Patriots, and the Chiefs, what is going on here? Now, they did bounce back, and they beat the Panthers the following week, in week 4, but then they lost to the Ravens the week after that. So starting out the season 1-4. Tough way to start the season. But their last 3 games have been a lot better. The last 3 games, they have wins over the Giants and Browns, and then they would like to have that Eagle games back. They would like to have that game back and play it again, because they did not end the way they wanted it to. But like I said, they're sitting at 3rd place in the AFC North right now, but they do have a lot of winnable games ahead of them. They play the Raiders, they play the Cowboys, Titans, and Browns, just to name a few. Just like the Jets and just like the Dolphins, guys, I think they're going to need 9 wins to make it into the playoffs. So, can the Cincinnati Bengals, sitting at 3-5 right now, win 6 more games and be contenders in the AFC? Guys, they are pretenders. The Cincinnati Bengals are pretenders. Yes, they do have some winnable games. Yes, they should win versus the Raiders this week. Yes, they should beat the Browns the following week. Yes, they should beat the Cowboys and Titans. But the Cincinnati Bengals know their faith. The Cincinnati Bengals know that they are not going to be a very good team in the postseason. If they were even to make a postseason run, they're going to be a one and done. So they're out there, they're trying to look forward to 2025. Look forward to 2026. They're out there shopping T. Higgins right now. T. Higgins is the X factor for this team. Without T. Higgins, Jamar Chase doesn't go. Without Jamar Chase, Joe Burrow doesn't go. They're out there shopping T. Higgins. Yes, I understand the last 4 or 5, 6 seasons, they started out 0-2 or 1-2. And then they get hot. Then they make a playoff run. And then they make a Super Bowl run. I get it. But this season is different. This season just feels a little bit different, and I don't see it. Besides those games that I listed, they still have to play the Ravens again. Yes, they took the Ravens into overtime. They should have won that game, but yet they didn't. They're still going to play the Steelers twice. The best team in the AFC North. Still going to play the Browns. Browns are a pretty good team. Let's just be honest. And then the Broncos. They might be able to battle in those games and keep it close, but they're not going to win. They might go out there and they might compete and be a 25-20 score week after week after week, but they're not going to win. The Cincinnati Bengals are not built this year to win games. I don't know if it's the loss of Joe Mixon. It is the loss of Tyler Boyd. That was a big loss. But simple fact of the matter is the Cincinnati Bengals are done. Zach Taylor might be done in Cincinnati, honestly. We talk about hot seats. Zach Taylor might be on his way out. But I think they are pretenders. I think they are pretenders. And Kaylee says, do not get me started. They are pretenders AF. Not only are they pretenders, they are the biggest pretenders out there. You can put makeup on a pig and make it look beautiful, but it's still a pig. And James Frank says they are pretenders. And that's all I got to say about that there. In my best Forrest Gump accent, they're pretenders, and that's all I'm going to say about that. Let's move on. James doesn't want to make Kaylee feel bad about herself for being a Bengals fan. James is a Browns fan. So James wants to keep it above the belt. James doesn't want to go below the belt, but I want to go below the belt because Tyler Boyd and Joe Mixon was the biggest thing of why the Cincinnati Bengals are sucking this year. They're like, we don't need you, Joe Mixon. We don't need you, Tyler Boyd. Get out of here. We'd be fine just without you. And guess what? You guys suck without them because Tyler Boyd was the X Factor and Joe Mixon was a dog, the myth, and legend. Messed up. You messed up. And Kaylee says it was all over when we lost to the Patriots. Let's flash back 9 weeks ago, week number 1, New England Patriots and Jacoby Brissett come into town and they wax her ass. That's when I knew the season was over, says Kaylee. And Laura's like, I love you, Kaylee, but sorry, they are pretenders. They are not very good. And says, I don't care too much. I agree with anybody that says they're pretenders. Fair weather fan, it sounds like to me, guys. I'm kidding. And James says they will lose to the Raiders. Wouldn't it be something? Has anybody from the AFC West lost to the NFC North yet? I guess the Steelers beat them, right? But it would be funny as hell if the Bengals and Ravens both got swept by the AFC West. I'm just saying. It would be funny. It would be funny. And T. Higgins is injured, but he's still being shopped around. Shopped around. Laura says, if I'm correct, Kaylee, said a lot of things good starters are coming out of this game. And she misses Tyler Boyd. Laura says they need a complete rebuild starting with the head coach. Zach Taylor needs to get out of town. If you look at it, since the Super Bowl, what have the Bengals done? They've given away the team. They haven't improved. The only thing they tried to do was to hurt the Kansas City Chiefs by overpaying for Orlando Brown Jr., the real OBJ. I still love him. Which, did you guys know he's a furry? And I didn't know what a furry was until my sister said, yeah, they're weird people that wear tails. This man, I went to the New Heights podcast with Travis and Jason Kelsey, right? Up in Cincinnati. They were doing something for the college, right? But they did the show. They interviewed Desmond Ridder, which was a Cincinnati alum here from Louisville, Kentucky. Had Joe Burrow and then Orlando Brown Jr. This guy walked up in the tail. First of all, he's the largest human being I've ever seen. Has a fox tail hanging from the side of his pants. I'm like, what in the world? That was just weird. And Derek says, nope, it's not going to happen. They are who I thought they were. James Frank says they'll be lucky to get one more win within the division. I don't think they get one win within the division unless the Steelers or Ravens kind of pack it up like, hey, you know what? You guys can have one. You can have one. Zach needed to go week 1. Not wrong. James says, LOL, he's a furry. Does he wear a Bengals tail? It may have been a Bengals tail, honestly, because it was orange and black. I mean, it was like, not like the Bengals orange, but like a fox orange. Like, I don't know. It was just weird. It was very, 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 very weird. Very, very weird. But next up on Contenders or Pretenders, the